Alright, let's do this, people. New week, new Odyssey. Oh, hold on. Daily reward. 50 monkey money. Hell yeah, I needed some. Oh, that's a very nice number. I need to spend 600 monkey money, though. Maybe 100,600. Anyway, what have we got? No more messing around. Shopping Mayhem? Oh, ew. Oh, I hate that map. Oh, that map's garbage. No. Anyway, Ninja Kiwi. Shopping Mayhem. The Bazaar has a limited time offer on some new darts and nothing will stop these monkeys from getting a good deal. Oh god, it's gonna be the last map, isn't it? It's gonna be the last map, isn't it? It's gonna be the last map, isn't it? Oh, it's gonna be the last map, isn't it? Ew. God, I hate the Bazaar map. It is... It's given me so much trauma. Anyway, let's see what we've got. Simple stuff, 3 to 65, medium standard on Scrapyard. Frozen over, medium standard 6 to 75. Stream bed, medium half cash. That's a little annoying, but at the very least it's medium difficulty, not hard difficulty, so it'll be an easier version of half cash than we're used to. Cornfield hard standard 1 to 80, very nice. And Bazaar hard alternate balloons round 10 to 80. Okay, very simple stuff, very simple stuff. What have we got? Ew. Sorry, I'm not a Geraldo player. I much prefer literally any other hero. I'm sorry to those people that love Geraldo out there, but I just genuinely can't deal with him and his shop BS. I'm not good enough as a Geraldo main. Anyway, let's see. What do I want? I kind of want Quincy. I'm a bit biased. Don't get me wrong. Adora, much stronger than Quincy. Gwendolyn, also much stronger than Quincy. Azili would make dealing with mobs a lot nicer and gives camo lead popping power immediately from being placed. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Quincy. I do like Quincy. He's a fun one. Bring a couple of those. Bring maybe one of those. How much water do we have? None. Quite a lot. A little bit. None. A little bit, but it's not that great. Okay. So, a couple of boats. Probably not going to bring any subs. Plane, heli, ninja, alk. Maybe twice for those annoying maps that go 2 ways. Definitely 3 wizards. Some spike factories for good measure. 1 village. And... is there anything else we want? Yeah, sure, I'll bring a tack shooter. More darts. Alright, sweet. We should be able to crush this Odyssey with this team. And we're gonna do exactly that. Let's get it on. Quincy can go there. Boom. Speedrunning. Absolutely speedrunning. Although technically, I am like 10-15 minutes late to the Odyssey. Mainly because I only got home at around like 3:50, so did not have a good chance to sort of get started on these things. Right, where do I want my ninja? Probably here, so it can clean up on the way out. Don't want to leave all these balloons hanging. Crush those. And nice. Alright. And we did bring along a heli, so if we do lose some lives, we can get them back. But for the most part, I don't think we will. Maybe on the ABR, but for the most part, we shouldn't lose lives, if I'm honest. Oh, I have had a terrible day at work. It was really awful, honestly. And to be honest, the only reason why I had an awful time is because I've been complaining about something for 2 weeks now, nothing has been done about it, and nobody seems to think it's a problem. But I've been complaining about it for 2 weeks, and the reason I had a shit day today was because people are slowly starting to realize that it's a problem, but they're still not going to do anything about it for another 2 weeks. So essentially, I think I've brought it up before, instead of getting our stuff ready for tomorrow, the day before, they're going to get our stuff ready for an entire week, give us a crap ton of extra stuff so that we don't run out, and then they'll just be like, all right, we're just going to leave you with that for the whole week now. Enjoy. And it has been terrible. The problem occurs exactly like I expected it to, because usually every day, oh, we didn't actually have enough of this, you guys didn't pick enough of them. Or, you know, oh, we ran out and we need more. And so we'll ask for more, and that's all well and good. And so considering they do an entire week in one day and just give us the whole week, instead of doing that in small chunks every day, it happens on the last day when we're down to just, you know, whatever is left. And it happens in the same amount of volume, if not even more. So we run out of even more stuff on the very last day, and we have to ask them to quickly run around like headless chickens, picking us more stuff that we've run out of. So I think I've sent around 20 plus things that we ran short of, and they were not happy with me. And I just immediately turned around and said, I've been complaining about this for weeks and no one's done anything. So hopefully something gets done, but my boss said to me they want to trial this whole new system for 4 weeks, and we're only 2 weeks deep, and I am sick of it. I am absolutely sick of it. Anyway, that's why I've had a shit day at work today. Oh, plus the fact that the other person that usually is helping me out the most had to take today off. They are on a full-time contract, and there was a public holiday this Monday, which typically, you know, wouldn't change anything, right? But our workplace makes us, or doesn't want any of us to work more than 5 days a week, right? At all, if they can help it. And so with the public holiday, my mate who was on a full-time contract obviously would have gotten paid for that day. But the workload for that day was shifted onto Tuesday. And so they technically got paid for the Monday, as if they did work. And then they came in on the Tuesday anyway. So that would have added up to 6 days this week, if they still came in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like they normally do. So yeah, management came up to her and was just like, hey, take another day off. We don't care which one, just pick one and don't show up. And she was just like, ha, okay. It's a very nice thing to hear when your boss comes up to you and says, pick a day, take it off. But, yeah, so that's what she ended up having to do. And so today was that day. Well, to be fair, today was the only day she was allowed to take off, because other days were going to be twice as much hectic. Twice as much hectic? I really can't speak lately. It's going to be much more hectic on the other days, so... admittedly, she did pick a good one, but... at the same time, lots of things went wrong today. And I attribute it to the fact that my boss's boss... no, actually, just my boss. My boss absolutely did not help me out today. Like, to be fair, I've come to expect this. Where... this is gonna sound really harsh, but I don't expect anything from my boss anymore. I just know that he's not gonna help or do shit. So I've come to expect that, and that is my bare minimum. And so when he did help today slightly, I was just like, somehow my bare minimum was you not helping at all. And in fact, what you're doing now is making things worse. Because while we were running out of all of this stuff, and I had to run around like a headless chicken trying to find more, or harass other people to give me more, from the inventory stockpile, my boss was at the front of the line being like, come on guys, speed up, and helping them go faster. And I'm like, no, why? We're already running around trying to find all this shit. Why are you trying to speed things up so that we run out of shit faster and that line blocks up more? Ah, pain. Pain. That's the word I would use to describe today. Suffering is also a good one, but that's a bit longer. And admittedly, even though it felt like I was at work for 8 hours, we finished work at 12:37, 12:57. So the pain and suffering simply made time go on for longer. But overall, it was still a pretty swift day at work. Oh, I don't want to do that again though. That was horrific. I wish to never work again. That would be my ideal outcome. I think I'm gonna try and get a balloon solver here. That way 63 just doesn't exist in terms of difficulty. And then we can move straight on to the next map. Oh, look at that damage. That's just insane. The fact that a glue gunner can do that. God damn. Anyway, it's not like we aren't prepared for 63 in the first place. No, we've got Quincy's abilities. We've got our... not Wizard Lord, Summon Phoenix. We've got our Summon Phoenix ability. We've got Ninja Alec backing us up with a lot of damage. We've got our Balloon Liquefier now, soon to be Balloon Solver. We are definitely going to crush this. Oh, I am tired. Anyway. Actually, I don't know if I told the YouTube viewers this. The stream viewers definitely know. But... so essentially, at work, we get a lot of stickers. A lot of them will just be blank, and we'll just write something on them. Typically it's like, do not touch, or, you know, this is for Monday, leave it alone. Or just little things that'll help us out, like just saying what is on a palette, so that we don't get it mixed up with a similar thing on a different palette. But essentially, there's a lot of stickers going around. Labeling stuff, and just writing down notes and stuff. And very recently, they told us that we couldn't put our stickers on our lab coats that we wear in production. And so... and they also provided an example of what the lab coats shouldn't look like. Which, I mean, despite the fact that it was 100% my lab coat, doesn't mean that I was doing the wrong thing. But it was most certainly my lab coat. Anyway, so to remedy that situation, I have now started creating balls of stickers. So essentially, I will scrunch up one sticker in on itself, and then every future sticker that I need to place somewhere or do something with, I just slap it on the original one until I form a ball. And then I get them to roughly like baseball size. And I mean, I just take them home. I've got 6 now. I've got 4 piled up on my desk and 2 sort of tucked away. But they are actually pretty decent baseballs. Like, if you do sort of compress them, they are quite nice in order to like throw and mess around with. But I would really like to get one to the size of maybe a soccer ball. I think that would be my ultimate goal. Although I don't know how easily I'd be able to conceal that at work. Because to be honest, I'm kind of just putting these sticker ball things in my back pocket. So that every time I see a sticker, I can just sort of take it out my back pocket, slap it on, put it back in. So I don't know how I'd go about fitting a soccer ball sized one in there. So, yeah. Maybe I'll just have to take a bunch of stickers home with me. And then slap them on the wall after. Anyway. I'm always having good fun at work with that. Anytime anyone's given me grief, I just throw the sticker ball at them. And then they sort of get confused. First of all, by the fact that I threw something at them, and second of all, they get enthralled by the new object I've just given them. And then it's like they're little kids again, and they're just like, hey, this is pretty good. Boop, boop, boop. Ow. Also, I found out today, because roughly every month, or every other month, I can't remember which, we will have a meeting between all of the departments, just to discuss how work's going, what the customers are complaining about, you know, what we need to change about that, roughly, like, you know, our target goals, if we're meeting them, if we're not, and things like that. And they will also answer a bunch of questions that we can post onto an application known as Slido, which is a weird application name, first of all. But it is very useful because you can either sign in and make an account, or you know, give yourself a name, or you can post these questions anonymously. If, for example, you don't feel comfortable bringing up one of the questions and having it attributed to you. And so you can just post them anonymously and just be like, oh, just wondering about this, blah, 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 blah. Will it change? Will it be fixed? Will something be done about this sort of thing? Regards. You don't have to put your name. Anonymous. And to be honest, every time we've had one of these meetings, nobody really uses it to ask questions and you know, get feedback and stuff. Just because everybody's too lazy and they like to complain in person, which I too also like to complain in person, so I understand that. But yeah, nobody really uses it, and so every time we have this meeting, it's always like, oh, I wonder if anyone asked any questions. No? Alright, moving on. But now, one of my mates has, like, ever since we started doing this whole, like, pick for the whole week thing rather than pick for the next day, ever since we started that, one of my mates has been putting a question on Slido every single day. Or like a suggestion or a complaint. Every single day since we started doing that. And he keeps coming up to me and being like, what should my question be for today? It's amazing. Because I can guarantee the next meeting we go to, it's either going to be twice as long because they're answering all of the questions that he's put. And he's put them all anonymously. So, you know, they don't know if it's from the same person or from multiple different people. Although, to be fair, considering it's one a day, probably roughly around the same time, they could take a good guess. But since he's going to put so many questions up, either the meeting's going to run twice as long, possibly, or they'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm sure nobody's put any questions up there, and then I'll put up my hand and be like, oh, maybe you should check. I'm going to see about 30 or 40 questions before the next meeting. It's going to be great. I can't wait for that. The look on their faces is going to be priceless. Anyway, decided to switch the strategy up a little, you know, considering we've got a good chunk of water available to us. And, you know, Ninja Alk, as well as Wizard and Quincy, could probably get us through every single one of these maps without fail. But there's no fun in that. So I'm gonna go for a Pirate Lord, and maybe if I can afford it, a tax zone as well. Actually, if I go for the Pirate Lord now, I can maybe make some extra money off of that to afford the tax zone. But we shall see. Anyway, work has been crazy and stressful and annoying. I'm trying to right the wrongs because, I don't know why they do this, but essentially, every time there's a big change at work, for example, going from picking daily to picking weekly, like picking for the whole week, right? That was the big change at work that's happened recently. And that was one that I immediately started complaining about because I knew that it was going to be a pain in the ass, and it is. So, I immediately started putting in complaints, right? However, I don't know why, but the company seems to be working backwards. Because every time they implement a large change and they're just like, we'll just see how this goes, you know? 4 weeks, a little bit of a trial run. We'll see how it goes. If it's really shit, we'll turn it back. We'll change it back, sort of thing. Right? But then on top of that, they're just like, oh, hey, you know how we changed a massive thing and, you know, it's affecting how we normally do stuff, and this is a trial period, so we're just seeing how that goes. Yeah, what happens if we change like 13 other things as well? That will also have a potentially detrimental impact if they don't work out so well. And so they've been making changes left, right, and center to every single aspect of production. And yeah, I'm all for improving things and changing the system and trying to find a more efficient way to do things. But can you space it out? Why are we doing this all at once when I've already been yelling my head off about this one thing that's been changed? It just seems ridiculous. The timing is just awful. And I seem to be the one linking factor between all of these changes. You know, all of the pain and suffering of all these different changes that are happening seem to link directly to me and being my problem. Which sucks. Because everybody else will be minorly inconvenienced in one way or another, but not nearly as much as the person that is typically in my position, which oftentimes is me. Hence why I complain a lot to you guys about it. My apologies if you're getting sick about me talking about work. But that's who I be, that's what I do, that's when I am. Anyway, they pay me good money, and the people there are lovely. Lovely people. I've made a lot of friends there. And that is the only thing keeping me there. I'll tell you what, I can guarantee you right now, if like, let me think about this. If 3 people in particular left, I would also leave. Straight up. Just, if 3 of who I consider, I don't want to say they're very close friends, because we don't actually hang out much outside of work, right? But I consider people at work that make my life easier to be very good people that I like to be around, right? Because if they're making your life easier, that's a great thing. You should always strive for hanging out with those that make your life easier, rather than people that make your life a living hell or a massive pain in the ass, right? So all my favorite people at work are the ones that actually do stuff and do it well, right? So I think if 3 of those people left, 3 specific ones, not just 3 in general, if 3 specific people left, I would absolutely just be like, nope, this place is gonna fall apart, good luck. They have already lost an amazing worker, and good luck to them trying to find a replacement, because frankly, He was pretty goddamn amazing. Don't know why they got rid of him in the first place, to be honest. Well, I mean, I do know why, but I don't think of it as a massive problem. Then again, that's not my decision to make. Blah, 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 blah. Insert... I don't know. Insert comment about workers. Anyway, my brain is very cooked. I'm glad there is only 5 rounds left before I can lie down. But yeah, this Odyssey seems pretty relaxed, pretty chill so far. It's always good to have Odysseys that are, like, made by fans and community members, and then back to ones that are made by Ninja Kiwi, you know, it gives us a nice break, because typically the ones made by fans are a bit more on the difficult side of things. And honestly, and this is a little sad, the ones made by Ninja Kiwi these days all seem to follow a similar template, where they sort of just pick an overall theme, whether it's linking maps or heroes or just some sort of backstory that they're making up. And then they pick 5 maps, most of which will be easy. The first 2, 3, maybe even 4, completely unmodified, just a general difficulty. And then the 5th one is usually like, oh hey, we changed a couple of things here. But for the most part, it's sort of like a casual thing, which I do enjoy. Every now and then, it's very nice. I'm not gonna say it's awful. I would never say that. But it does feel like, compared to some of the other Odysseys that Ninja Kiwi has released, that they're sort of running out of ideas. Anyway, that has been Shopping Mayhem Part 1. We will eventually get to the shopping center, and I will be in the most pain on this map, but these two are also looking pretty nice, and compared to some expert maps, Bazaar isn't the worst one in the world, but I still hate it with a burning passion and the fire of 1,000 suns, so I will never stop hating this map. Anyway, that's been Shopping Mayhem Part 1. Part 2 will feature these 3 maps tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. I'm gonna go lie down. Bye.